Who can tell me what year Andalus started? Who knows what year? Do you guys remember? Yeah, 7-11. All right. So we're gonna look at what life was like in Andalus. So what do you guys know about Andalus? Can you tell me what you know? So you know it started in 7-11, the area of Andalus. What else do you know? Do you know like what religion they were? They were Muslims. Yeah. Or what continent they came from? Yeah. Africa. Yeah. So Muslims from Africa came to the Iberian Peninsula and they created this region called Andalus. And what is the Iberian Peninsula today? What countries are there? Anybody else? Yeah, Spain and Portugal. So you had Andalus in the south, and then who was in the north?
Christian kingdom?
Yeah, Christian kingdoms. So you had Christian kingdoms in the north and Andalus in the south of what is now Spain and Portugal. So yeah, this is a picture of it. So yeah, you had the Christian kingdoms here and Andalus there, and it started out being really peaceful. So everyone was friends. They got along. There was also people from 2 other religions living in Andalus. What other religions were there?
Muslims?
So you have Muslims, and there's 2 more. Christians, and then
Jews.
yeah, Jews. So you had these 3 religions all living in this area, but the majority of people, most people there, were Muslims, but they also lived in peace with Christians and Jews. But the Muslims at the time also didn't consider the other religions to be equal, so that caused some issues later on. So there is this time called the Golden Age, and do you think that was a good time or a bad time, if it's called the Golden Age? Yeah, it was a good time. So during the 11th and 12th century, there was a lot of learning and international trade. Do you know what trade is? Yeah, so let's say I have a phone and you have scissors. And I really, really need scissors. And so I say, can we trade? You can have my iPhone and I'll take the scissors. Yeah? So you would have a trade between different goods. So it could be like fish and corn, or you could trade something that you made, like maybe a rug. Anything that you needed, you could trade. So there's a lot of, and what is international? What does that mean? Yeah, all over the world. So it means trading not just in Andalus, but trading to other places around the world. There is also a spirit of cooperation and tolerance. Do you know what is cooperation? What do you think cooperation is? Yeah?
Like layering, like do activity in a group.
Exactly. And would you be fighting with each other, or are you working together?
Working together.
Exactly. So cooperation is when you're working with other people and you're not yelling at each other, you're all working and helping each other out. And then what about tolerance? Do you know what tolerance is? Let's say I'm Jewish, you're Christian, you're Muslim. We have different beliefs, but we don't make fun of each other. We say, oh, well, you believe in something different than me, but that's okay. I believe what I believe, you believe what you believe. So you're not saying, oh, you believe this, you believe that. Yeah, so you accept everyone and you don't make fun of them just because they're different.
Everyone is different.
Yeah, and you are nice to people because of their differences. So that's why you have all the 3 religions. Everyone got along because they had tolerance towards each other. And everyone from those 3 religions, they were allowed to study in Al-Andalus. They could trade with each other. So everyone lived really happily. And because there were people with different ideas, there were a lot of scholars. And so there was lots of scholars in mathematics, astronomy. What's astronomy? Do you know?
Astronomy.
Yeah, so the study of the stars. Yeah. What about geography?
Geografía.
Yeah. And then
Right.
history?
Historia.
Yeah, they sound
History.
pretty similar. Science?
Yeah.
It sounds the same.
Filosofía.
Medicine?
Medicina.
Exactly. So all of it's pretty easy to understand because they're similar to the words instead. So there was a lot of scholars that were studying all these different fields. And so do you think there was a lot of smart people here and a lot of growth? Or do you think there was no growth? What do you think? Do you think that the people here learned more and more or less by having so many scholars there?
More.
Yeah, so they were learning a lot more. And they also had hundreds of libraries.
Librerías.
Yeah. So there was a lot of libraries there. And so people could read, they could learn a lot. And do you guys know what was the capital of Al-Andalus? Do you know?
Oh! Córdoba.
Yeah, Cordoba. So this is a picture of Cordoba. So this was the capital of Al-Andalus. And it was the largest city in all of Europe. Do you think it's the largest city in Europe now? No. Yeah, it's pretty small compared to, let's say, London or Paris. But it was a major city for learning and trade because you had the cooperation, the tolerance, you had people from different religions. And there was over 70 libraries in Cordoba, in the city of Cordoba. Yeah, over 70. And the largest library had 400,000 books. 400,000 was a lot of books, yeah. And also, like I was saying, they had scholars from all over the world. So you could read about a lot of different subjects. And yeah, and so it was a really prosperous economy. They had a lot of money and they had a lot of different things that they got from trading. And they also had a lot of workshops producing, you have like silk. Do you guys know what's leather? Do you know what leather is? So leather, it's what you make out of. You can make shoes out of leather. Yeah. And then carpets. Like this. Do you know? Yeah, weapons. Good. What about crystal glass? Yeah, it's like glass from crystal. Yeah. So they had all of these goods that they made, so they could trade things with that. And then also they had the farming flourished. So if they had a lot of farms, what do they have? Fruits. Yeah, they have a lot of food. They have fruits and vegetables. So they had a lot of food. They had a lot of education and trade. So it was a good place to live. But also the government kept changing. So do you guys know what an emirate is? Or do you know what a caliphate is? Or Taifa kingdoms? Well, I'll show you. I'll explain to you what those are. So this was the first type of government that they had. So the whole area was governed by an emirate. So that was an Islamic monarch. So maybe a prince or a commander or a governor. You had one person and they ruled over all of the people. So do you think there was unity or separation of the people?
Separation.
So right here at first it was unity because there was one person ruling everybody. Here also when there was a caliphate, it was also one group of people governed, but this time they were governed by an Islamic steward. So this person was religious. So they represented the Muslims. So do you think the Christians and the Jews maybe felt left out if the person representing them was a different religion from them? Yeah, maybe they felt a little bit left out because before it was a prince or a commander, so they represented all the people, but now it's someone in power who is religious. And then this made it so a lot of different people wanted to be independent. So then you had a bunch of different type of states. So these are all run by different people. So do you think there's unity or separation?
Separation.
Yeah. Do you think they're strong or do you think they're weak if there's a bunch of different groups?
I think strong.
Yeah, so it's kind of weak because if you have a bunch of different people before, everyone was one unit. So everyone worked together, and then now you have a bunch of small little groups of people with different leaders. And so the Christian kingdoms in the north, they saw that the separation would make them weak. And so the Christian kingdoms in the north, they thought, oh, well, we can take all of this land for ourselves. So in 1492, the Reconquista ended because the Christians, they conquered Granada, and so they had the whole Iberian Peninsula. So now instead of having two groups, it became one. But they had this thing called the Spanish Inquisition. Have you heard of that? Yeah? You heard of it? It's very what? Yeah, violent. Yeah. So they would torture people. So basically, have you heard of King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella? So those people, they divided Spain. Yeah, but the way that they did that is they captured all of the cities. So they slowly took over city by city by city until only Granada was left. And then they took Granada. But in 1478, they created a court of justice. Do you know what a court is? So let's say you do a crime, like you steal something, and then you have to go to court, and they try to prove if you're guilty or if you're innocent. So that's what a court is. So they would bring people who were Muslims into the court, and they would see if they had different values that went against the Roman Catholic Church. Because what they did was they told all the people that they had 30 days to confess, and then they had to convert to Christianity. So they said to all the Muslims, you have to believe in our religion or we're going to kill you. So they gave them 30 days, and if they didn't confess and change religions, then they would punish them and kill them. So they brought 150,000 people to the Inquisition. So they brought them to the court, and they tried to see if they had beliefs that went against the Roman Catholic Church. And out of those people, about 5,000 people were killed because they didn't believe in the same things that the Christians believed in. And in 1492, like we said, they finished the Reconquista, and they kicked out a lot of the Muslim rulers and Muslims and a lot of Jews as well. And do you think this was good for the learning or the culture or the economy? Do you think it was good to kick out all the Muslims and the Christians and the Jews? No, because there's a lot of people who were really smart in biology and history and philosophy that were kicked out of the country. And so it kind of stopped the learning, and it stopped them from having a great economy and culture. And so, yeah, so that was basically what the Spanish Inquisition was and the Reconquista. So do you guys have any questions about it?
I got
No?